Good morning. How are you diddling? Excellent. Me too. Thank you very much for asking. Sorry, I'm a day late. It's not Monday. It is definitely Tuesday. You've not gone crazy and lost a day somewhere in the calendar, which I've done many times over the last few weeks. Last week, I completely lost a day and kept thinking it was Thursday when it was Wednesday and Wednesday when it was Tuesday and so on and so forth. Could not get away from it. But anyway, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Dazed and Confused. This is your 3 times a week non-stop shop for you to get some advice and some help on your social media content, your video content, to try and help you build your brand, your business, and take it to the next level. So taking you from local all the way through to national content and possibly even internationally known as well, depending on what you want to do with your brand. But the whole point is to get you started on that content creation journey. Who am I to tell you anything, though? I'm Simon Scholes. I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios. We're an award-winning visual marketing agency. We help brands and businesses create content that really helps them stand out on their social media. So that could be video content, animation, aerial photography, graphics, all sorts of different kinds of stuff. However, a few years ago, it became very obvious to me that not every brand, excuse me, tickly chest. That's better, coffee. Not every brand, not every business was in a position to spend money on a regular basis, having content created for their social media. However, we all understand, surely by now, that to have a presence on social media means you have to be consistent, means you need to be putting out content on a regular basis. You need to have patience to grow an audience about who cares about what it is that you've got to offer. So if you're not putting content on a regular basis, then you're on a bit of a hiding to nothing for your brand and for your business. So I wanted to try and help as many people start creating content, but without there being a cost attached. So essentially for free, apart from a bit of time for you to learn how to do certain things. So I sat down, I came up with a process. I called it How to 9 Times Your Social Media. I turned it into a former #1 book, which is still available now on Amazon for 99p. Links in the section below. Go and click on that and get hold of your copy after this live video. And basically that takes you through the whole process of I'm going to start planning all the way through to podcasting and everything else that goes in between as well. So that's what these live videos are all about as well, just to help you get on that content creation journey. If you've got any questions about social media, about video, whatever platform you're watching on, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, any of the Facebook groups, stick your comments into that particular live stream right now and it will come up on my screen and I'll be able to answer your questions in today's live stream. Also, we're going to be talking today about how you can start making money from free content. Or can you? It's a double-edged sword, so we'll start talking about that as well. So yeah, let's get started. So how do you make money from free content? It's what I get asked on a regular basis because obviously a lot of my content is completely free. I'm sat here right now, I'm giving you some value. I'm not making any money from this and I'm not making you spend any money on what I do or anything like that. So how do I make any money from giving out free content? So it depends on how much you're really against giving away free stuff, really. I give free advice, I give free help because I want to help as many people as possible start creating content. I'm not bothered about whether you come to me then afterwards and get my business to help you create video content or visual content. I'm not bothered if you come to me for one-to-one consultations. None of that bothers me. That's all available. But what I want from doing this free content is to help you start creating content. That's all I care about. I just want to get you on that content creation journey. Start making content for your brand, for your business on a regular basis, consistently. If you're not consistent with your content, then you are on a hiding to nothing. Because if you're just putting out 1 or 2 pieces of content a month, it's going to get lost in the feed unless you have an enormous audience. If you've got millions of people already following you, what the hell are you doing watching me? Go away, make some content, put it out, and loads of people are going to see what you've got to say. But if you've only got a small audience like I have, I've only got somewhere in the region of about 20,000 people follow me across all my different platforms. If you've got a small audience, then what you need to be doing is creating regular, consistent content so that audience can just slowly but surely build. You can build an organic audience of people who care about what it is you've got to say, who will happily share your content with their audience and so on and so forth. So that's what I am essentially all about, is you trying to build that organic audience. But that means then not necessarily you're able to sell. So what do I do to try and sell what I do as a business? So I give away gateway content, essentially, funnel-based content. So what I do is I give away my former #1 book for the last 5-6 months of lockdown, all the way through the hard period, all the way from, I think it was like March until August. I gave my book away for free, and all you had to do was just give me some details. You could either sign up to my newsletter or not. You still got my book for free. That didn't matter. And I either got your details or I didn't, depending on obviously GDPR in the UK. And I'm doing it again now. I'm giving away my Instagram growth tips as an ebook, but you can either download that and sign up to my newsletter, or you don't have to sign up to my newsletter and still get the Instagram growth tip book. It doesn't really matter. Again, all I want you to do is start creating content. If you're then happy to be added to my newsletter email list, that is brilliant. And that's where the funnel starts, effectively. That's where you start to think more essentially about how you can start making money from free content. Because I'm giving away free stuff. Yes, there's a gateway. So essentially there's a payment in details, but there's no hard cash going between the two of us. And you're still getting free content, whether you sign up to my newsletter or not. If you do sign up to my newsletter, I know then you're interested in more of my free value, my free content. So then what I do is I start giving you more content in my newsletter on a weekly basis. So you get that content landing into your inbox on a regular basis. I maybe give you some special content, which I do to my newsletter content because you're subscribed to me. You've taken the time to subscribe to me. You've taken the time to consume that content. So I give you like maybe secretive videos that I've made just for the newsletter and not for anybody else. All that kind of thing. So it's almost like Patreon content, but you're not actually paying for it. Then now and again, I can start slipping in that sell, because what I can do is look at the people who are really engaged with my content, the people who are watching my videos on a regular basis, those people who have signed up for my free Instagram book, but also signed up for the newsletter quite happily rather than saying no to it. Those people who get my newsletter on a regular basis and actually read it, take a look at it, maybe click on some of the links, all that kind of thing is essential for me then to look back at that and go, right, okay, the analytics are saying this person is reading every email. I know for a fact they're on every single live or on quite a lot of my live content because they're commenting on it, they're sharing it. I know they've signed up for both my free book and also my Instagram ebook. So they're interested in growing their social media, like really in depth, more into it. So why would I not then take their contact details and just give them a call or drop them an email and just say, look, thanks ever so much for consuming my content. It's been great to see you consuming my content on a regular basis. Would you like to have a face-to-face chat, see what else I can maybe help you with, maybe have a one-to-one consultation, that kind of thing. And then you're starting to build more of an emotional connection between you and that individual person. Rather than thinking I'm creating content for lots of people, but I'm still talking to the individual, you are really being focused and specifically going to them as a potential customer. But you've already built that emotional connection. You are not giving away a freebie and then instantly selling to people, because that's just going to put people off. Again, you don't want to be putting people off on a regular basis. You want to be giving them value over and over and over again until they have that emotional connection between you and them. You're talking to one person, no matter how many people are watching your live content, no matter how many people read your blog, no matter how many people are on your Instagram feed, no matter how many people are signing up to the newsletter so that you can email them on a regular basis, you're still talking to them in the wording that you put out. I'm still talking to you right now watching this live, and I want you to start thinking about what you can do to start growing your email list so that you can actually use it as a funnel mechanic, actually use it as a way of being able to see the trends of different people and how they consume your content, how regularly they consume your content, so that you can reach out to them. And it boils down to a little bit of time and a bit of effort. But the effort really pays off, because if you're seeing that that individual person is consuming your content on a regular basis and they're consuming your live content, and if you then reach out on a one-to-one basis, there's a much higher chance, because you know how they've consumed your content in the past, that they're likely to become a customer. And also you can call upon the fact of how they've consumed your content in the past. Thanks ever so much for reading this newsletter. And also, I hope you enjoyed the article that I posted a link to, because you know they've clicked that link and gone to read it. All that kind of stuff can then really play for want of a better way of putting it, into your hands, and they could potentially become a customer. And that's what the process is for essentially giving away free content to eventually, hopefully, making some money out of your audience. Now, that's not what your audience is there for in any way, shape, or form. Continue to give them value, continue to help them as much as you possibly can do. But we are all in business. And I think a lot of people who put content out tend to fail to give that information. There's a lot of people who are like, give value, give value, give value, give away, just give away. And they do say to do the sell, but they don't really push it all that hard about how you can do the sell. We are all in business. Anybody watching this right now is hopefully a brand in their own right or a business in their own right and want to start making money from the brand or from the business using digital marketing and social media. Well, the way to do that is to sell. And it's hard to say that because I hate selling with a passion. I would much rather just sit here and give you loads and loads of value and eventually somebody go, I want to give you some money. That would be great, but it's not going to happen. So you have to reach out to people and try and keep building that emotional connection, that relationship between you and them without coming across too heavy-handed on the sale. But realizing that they've consumed so much of your content, so much of your value, they obviously like what it is that you do. So then reaching out is not such a bad thing in the first place. You reaching out and saying, would you like to have a face-to-face Skype call? Or even if you're local to that person, catching up and having a coffee or whatever it might be, it's not such a bad thing. Everybody is in business. Everybody understands that people are trying to make money, especially in this current state where we're dropping into a recession in the UK, potentially globally. Still nobody knows what the hell's going on, whether we're going to go into another lockdown, into localized lockdowns in the UK, whether we're going to go into a global second stage. Nobody knows what the chuff's going on at all. So we just need to keep plowing on with our businesses and doing what it is that we know we do best. And that is being a voice of authority in whatever the area that you are an expert in actually is. So hopefully after this, you can sit down and maybe have a look at the process that you've got within your business. Is there anything you're giving away already that you're not using as gateway content? Is there anything that you're not giving away, but you could give away, that you could use as gateway content? How could you start to build your email newsletter list so that you can actually start engaging with people in a different way and then seeing actually how people engage with your content and finding those people who love what it is that you've got to say and the content that you've got to give? Okay, rightio. Let's move on from that, shall we? We're going to go to the questions that have been coming in. If you've got any questions about that as well, by the way, just stick them into the comments on the platform that you're watching on at the moment. We'll do our best to go through them and I'll answer them today if I possibly can do. If you're watching on the replay right now, put your question into the comments. Just put #replay so I can find it nice and easily in the comments on this particular live. And also, if you're listening to the podcast, my email address is in the description box below. So go click on that, send me an email, and we can maybe put your question into the next live session. Speaking of which, we've got a couple of questions that came in. Actually, one of them is what prompted me to do this live today. I did have something else planned, and it came through from an anonymous person, easy for me to say, who was saying they're a single mum, they work until their back breaks, giving out free content, helping other freelancers with online work during the pandemic. And they wanted to know how they could kind of up their level, how they could take themselves beyond full capacity. And at the moment, they're giving loads and loads of free stuff. So how can they give more free stuff, but without necessarily creating too much work on their back? This is what I would do, is kind of create that funnel, because it sounds like you're getting to that point where you need to start making money from what it is that you're doing. And it is so difficult to take yourself away from that idea of, I'm going to give value consistently, to I'm going to use this process to try and make money. And it is really difficult. It's really hard. But we are all in business. I'll keep reiterating it. We all have bills to pay. Whether you're like 16 and live at home with your parents and you want to pay them board, or whether you're like me, you're 43 and you've got a mortgage to pay and electricity bills and a child in childcare and all those kind of things. Whatever stage in life you're at, you've essentially got an element of money that needs to go out. And so you need to make money from what it is that you do. And it is hard to take yourself away from that idea of, I'm going to give everything away for free. And I really struggle with it. So trust me, you're not the only one. But that's what I would potentially start doing if I were you, is actually start looking at how you can take all that free stuff that you're doing right now and maybe start giving something that will give value, but draw them into a way for you potentially to make money as well, because that's what you want. Good morning to Ed, who's just joined us today. How am I diddling on this fine day? I am diddling just fine and dandy. It's great to have the family back home. They've been away for a couple of weeks, so that's lovely. Max is in childcare this morning. I've been to the gym. I feel great. And yeah, I'm here broadcasting to you on a Tuesday, which is unusual, but I know that's absolutely fine. I'm liking this as well. He's saying his afternoon is going to consist of drinking beers in a pub garden with some colleagues. Oh, it's a hard life, isn't it? And my afternoon will consist of looking after a little one. So I'll be thoroughly jealous of you having a couple of sherbets in the pub garden. Right, anyway, another question. And this one's come through from Steve. He says, I've started on TikTok, grown a big audience, but with what's happening in India and in America with TikTok, is it still worth putting effort into? What do you think? Steve, absolutely. 100% keep putting effort into TikTok. The platforms have not gone anywhere yet. In my opinion, I don't believe TikTok is going anywhere. Not in America, not in India. I don't think it's going to get closed down or stop being used, whatever. So 100% keep putting your content out. Because if you've grown a good audience on TikTok, then you need to still keep serving that audience until the day America says it's gone, done. TikTok is no more in America. You are cutting off your nose to spite your face in the hope that potentially at some point in the future your nose might fall off. You don't know whether your nose is going to fall off or not, so you think you're just going to cut it off anyway. It's the same as TikTok going somewhere. We don't know if it's going to go anywhere whatsoever right now. We don't know whether Microsoft are going to buy it or somebody else will buy it and then start using it as a tool themselves. So stop worrying about the ifs and whats and maybes and just keep putting your content out until it's gone. Until it's gone, you don't know shit. So right now, keep giving the value, keep growing your audience, keep putting it out there, keep getting more and more people caring about the stuff that you're putting out, keep growing your community, keep building that emotional connection between you and them, so that when you do say, by the way, if you want to download my giveaway, it's on the link in my profile, people will go and click it, download your link in the profile, it's gateway content, you get them into your funnel, and you go back to the process I was talking about earlier on. So 100%, Steve, keep creating content. Absolutely crazy to stop just because of a what if. And good morning to Chris as well, who's a little confused. Yeah, I'm sorry, I did confuse everybody. Yesterday I got carried away with some family time. It was great just having them back. It was only my first full day of having the family back, so I made the most of it. And so I thought, right, I'll go live on Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday this week. So sorry if I've confused you, but hopefully you still agree today is definitely Tuesday and it's not Monday, even though it kind of feels like it should be after the bank holiday weekend in the UK. Anyway, right, I think that is that's enough for today. If you've got any questions, though, if you're watching on the live right now towards the end, if you're watching on the replay, if you're listening to the podcast, stick your questions either into the comments or you can drop me an email as well. My email address is in the section below, or if you're watching on the video, it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen as well. We'll get your questions into the next live broadcast as well. And so, yeah, it should hopefully be some fun questions come up. Fingers crossed. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, until then, thanks so much for watching. If you are brand new to these streams, if you've never come across them before in your life and you're like, I like the cut of this man's jib, then hit the subscribe button, whatever platform you're on. And while you're at it, if you're liking the cut of my jib that much, enough to subscribe, how about you also click the share button as well, whatever platform you're on. Share this content with your audience. If you're on YouTube, you can share it with your audience on Twitter or Facebook or Pinterest or anywhere. If you're on Twitter, you could just share it. Facebook, you could share it, whatever. Hit that share button. Get more and more people consuming this content so that we can keep building the community, keep having fun, keep answering more questions, and hopefully keep giving value as well. But until tomorrow, around about midday-ish or something like that, have a great rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy the sunshine. It is a glorious day here in the UK. Apparently, I'm not going to say this too loudly, but we're going to get a heat wave in September. Shh, we don't want the weather to hear us and change its mind. So anyway, until tomorrow, have a great rest of your day. And still in these strange times, stay safe. Have a good one. Bye.